Hi, I'm Jason Lauritsen. Today I'm going to give my speech called You Can't Be Sad While Riding a Bike. Despite the fact that when you are riding a bike, you breathe 2 to 3 times the volume of air that you do during the same commute by car, when commuting by car, you breathe 60% more carbon monoxide and pollutants. That's from a paper called The Exposure of Cyclists, Car Drivers, and Pedestrians to Traffic-Related Air Pollutants by Van Wingen. I'm going to tell you the direct health, environmental, financial benefits to you and to society if you start bike commuting for even short errands. Why should you listen to me? Well, over the last 7 years, I have bike commuted over 13,000 miles, and I've seen the direct health benefits of that. When I first started biking, I was 50 to 60 pounds heavier than I am right now. I also did extensive research into the environmental and health impacts of commuting by car versus bicycles. So you should start using a bicycle for short commutes. Today I'm going to cover, first off, the problem, which is the negative consequences of commuting by car. Then we're going to talk about the solution, which is the reasons you should switch to commuting by bicycle. And then we're going to go over the benefits, which are the positive effects you should see and society should see if you switch from car commuting to bike commuting. So first, let's go over the negative consequences of car commuting. The first mass-produced motor vehicle was the Ford Model T. Since its introduction, all the way up until our modern vehicle fleet in the US, there's only been an increase of 3.6 miles per gallon in that entire time of fuel efficiency. And we've had almost no movement in a positive direction since 1991. So for the last 29 years, cars haven't got any more efficient. That's from a study called On-Road Fuel Economy of Vehicles in the US by Michael Civic. Also, a NASA study tells us that motor vehicles are the greatest cause of greenhouse gases and pollutants in the world. Those cost a lot of health detriments. Also, you see detriments to health directly correlated to the amount of time you spend commuting. Over time, car commuters gain weight even if they're as physically active as a person who doesn't do a car commute. That's from a study called Commuting by Car and Weight Gain by Sugiyama. Also, another study by C.M. Horner tells us that lower commuting times directly correlates to more physical activity, better cardiorespiratory health, and less weight gain. Next, we're going to talk about how you can combat those statistics. First, during my audience analysis, I found out that you, like a lot of us, including me, at least once a week use your car for a trip that's less than 1 mile. If you start switching those short, less than 1 mile trips, we can see some direct benefits. First off, just if you are going out to a short trip to the store, to the library, whatever, you have to go out, start your car, hopefully you filled it up with gas last time you used it, get into traffic, maybe wait at a couple stoplights. If you get to your destination and it's busy, you may have to drive around for a while before you can even park. And then if you're parked a long ways away from the building, you end up having to walk all the way there. Versus if you hop on your bike, grab your helmet, a mile ride takes 6 to 7 minutes. Most destinations have bike parking right by the front door. You don't have to find a parking spot. Lock up your bike, go in, do what you're going to do, get back on your bike and head home. You might even complete the trip before you would have even found a parking spot in the first place. The next step, if you start doing that, is start doing some longer commutes. A lot of people are not interested in longer commutes. The main reason they're saying, I don't have time for that. Well, look at what your commute is now, and most of you said that you do some form of exercise, going to the gym or working out. Take your old commute time and the amount of time you spend going to the gym and compare that to a 3 to 5 mile bike ride, how long that would take, and there's going to be some time saving there. There's also, you're going to find that bicycles allow you to take a shorter and more direct route a lot of times. Think about leaving from the college campus and going downtown for something. You have to walk to wherever you parked, might be all the way across campus, get your car, drive out into traffic, 2 to 3 stoplights, then you get downtown, whether you're going to find a parking spot when you're down there. Compare that to grabbing your bike that's right outside of class, riding along the dike road, along the beach, you're downtown, lock it up, you get to go do what you're going to do. Another negative people say is, I don't have a bike. Well, most of you during the audience analysis told me that you did have a bike, and if not, like my wife's bike here, I bought it on Craigslist for like $100. Most people can find an extra $50 to $100 in their budget somewhere. So that's something that almost anyone can do. So now we're going to go into the direct benefits that you'll get from switching from car commuting to biking. A study shows that the average bike commute burns as much fat as a 40-minute workout at the gym. That's from a study called The Facts of Active Commuting by Quist. You're also going to have, studies have shown, a higher quality of life and greater self-satisfaction with your health by bike commuting versus walking, using public transportation or car. There's a lot of reasons that that comes into play. One is just the brain chemistry. When you're exercising, you increase the endorphins, you feel better. You're out riding in nature, you're getting vitamin D, which helps elevate your mood. You're also going to lose weight over time. That's going to make it so you're feeling better. And also just the de-stressing that comes from not driving through traffic, not getting cut off by some guy while he's trying to get to the light before you. Lastly, we're going to look at the direct financial impact. We already talked, okay, you might have to spend $100 to get a bike if you don't have one, but that's the only cost really. As opposed to when you have a car, every trip's going to cost you gas, every trip's going to cost you wear and tear that you're not going to be able to change a tire on simply like you can on a bike. You're going to be paying money out of pocket. The other big thing is the impact financially to society. A study by Sugiyama shows us that inactivity directly costs society an average of $622 a year in negative health effects, whereas the average amount of money spent on bike trails and infrastructure is only $235. That's 2.5 times saving for society financially if you switch to bike commuting. Now let's review what we learned about the costs and benefits, both financial and environmental, as well as health, and why you should start using a bike to start commuting for short errands. I told you the negative consequences associated with car commuting. I told you the reasons you should consider switching some of your car commutes to bikes. And I told you the direct benefits you and society will receive if we switch from car commuting to bike commuting. I'm going to leave you with this quote by Eddie Merckx, one of the world's greatest cyclists that's ever lived. I'd like you to ride as much or as little, as long or as short as you feel, but just ride. Thank you very much for listening to my speech, and I hope you take my advice and make the positive switch. Thank you.